Hey guys, what is up? It is your friendly neighborhood Goose here, and in this video, I'm going to show you guys the two ways to get to Undead Parish. So, I'm using the same character that we left off with, so nothing has changed. We're still just a bandit, just got out of Asylum. I have not spent any souls yet, I believe. Yeah, no, I still have the 2144. So, the two common ways to get to Undead Parish, because obviously Gargoyles being the first boss, you need to get to Parish. So the two different ways would be down through the Valley of the Drakes, and then the other way would be through Undead Burg. I'm going to show each of those separately, and without further ado, let's go. So either way that you're going, if you're going down into Valley of the Drakes, there's only two reasons to go down there, two routes that go down there. There is the sorcery route, and you go down there for the red tearstone ring. And then, I guess it's any red tearstone route, but the other common one is the Black Knight Halberd run for red tearstone. So, if you're doing Black Knight Halberd, then you want to grab these humanities first, and then go. And if you're going through Undead Burg, if you want the humanities for extra healing items, then they're right there. So that's the reason for the humanities. So, when you're going through Undead Burg, there's a lot of things to keep in mind. Every single enemy has a separate AI. So I'm going to just kind of breeze through it real quick, and hopefully we'll get to show things off. As you can see, all of those hollows are very easily avoidable, except for the guy on the top of the staircase before the aqueduct. If he does that jump attack, he can hit you. These guys you just run past and go through the fog wall. Now here's a part that actually, it would take quite a while to explain why, but this Drake can hit me. If you're on console, he can't hurt you, unless you're on PS3, and then it's a very slight chance. But regardless, he could hurt me. So far, all of the hollows have been behaving nicely. Now here's where we can branch. I'm going to go down this way first. Oh, yikes. So, as you can see, I actually opened up my start menu before going, or before landing, which I'll explain a bit later. That's the concept that I'm going to try and cover in this episode. Unfortunately, this guy's being rude. Alright. Oh, jeez. So here, you want to run, and at the end of the vines, you just jump towards the thing, the railing. Then you go down here. This is where Master Key comes into play. And then you just hug this and jump. Sometimes you can make it into the next staircase. It's pretty irrelevant. Doesn't exactly save time. But it looks cool. And then you run to about here, about next to the torch, and pop a humanity. That'll heal you up, and it'll give Havel time to reach you. Unfortunately, Havel decided to troll us. But that's fine. Then you just roll off and try to bait him out into falling. And then you, if he is attacking, you just roll. So now we're in Basin, and this is where you'll also end up if you go Valley of the Drakes. You actually come up from over there. There's a ramp that we go up here. Below it is where you come up from Valley of the Drakes. So then we just run along here, go up. Now if you're doing a run that needs a bow, and you do not have a bow yet, also all runs need bow, sorry that was silly, but all runs need a bow. If you don't have one yet, go ahead and grab this one right here. It's fairly quick, not as fast as buying one from the Undead Merchant, so if you're visiting him, buy the short bow from him, and then just grab the 1k soul that's over there by the trees. And then we're going to go up here. If you need to kill this crystal lizard, this is how you do it. You just kind of chop at him. If you're bandit, obviously, it's just 4 swings. If you're red tearstone bandit, then you just do 1 strong attack, and it will kill it. And if you're anything else, hopefully there's a fast way to do it. It's all dependent on route. But the rest of this is pretty straightforward. We're just going to come up this way. And to our right, we have the garden, which is the direction of Sif. And to our left is Parish. So then we just run past that Ent. He will miss you pretty much always. His accuracy is fairly low. Now, this Titanite demon can be really obnoxious, but most times we'll just fire a lightning bolt off into the wall and you won't have to worry about him. Unfortunately, he did an attack that we have to worry about. That's fine, though. Now we're fine. Once you get past him, you don't really have to worry about him. I am looking back. If he shoots lightning, he can actually hit you right about here on the staircase. There's Andre. If you need to buy anything from him, now is the time to do it. If you don't have the souls for it, then do it after Gargoyles or right before Sif. And then we're at the Undead Parish bonfire. And look at that. From here, you just go right up to gargoyles and fight them. And that's pretty much it. So here we are. We're going to do the other way through Burg. There's only one other way through Burg, and this one is a little bit different. And this one is important if you're not doing Gravelord Sword. Gravelord Sword is the only run through Burg that does not need the gold pine resin. And that is where you will use the drop to get to the blue tearstone ring. So you do the same general route. You go through this fog wall. Obviously, it's all been done because same character. Drake lands, whatever. Keep running. This is, I guess, the intended route, I suppose, through Burg. Unfortunately, we got fairly unlucky with his AI. That's very uncommon for him to do that attack, especially at that location. So a little bit unlucky. These two guys can be taken care of with one swift attack, no problem. Just keep running. And then you go here, and this is another spot where Master Key is important. And then here's the gold pine resin. And then you jump towards that, and then you're good. And then you go and jump the barrel. So that's the other way through Burg. Then you just go down Havel's Tower. But I'm going to take a minute to actually go over the concept of quitting and reloading. This is going to be a little bit more important later in the game, but it's good to get out of the way right now. So quitting and reloading does a lot of things. As you can see, the first of which is despawns enemies. As you can see, that guy has no longer... He no longer has any interest, and only when I walk close to aggro him is he interested again. So that's one huge thing. The other of which is it can save you from falling to your death. Now, you have to time it pretty perfectly. So what quitting the game does is it stores a save. It force saves the game. And it force saves in such a way that your character will not die when you load. So what that means is, if I were to jump off this cliff, I'm going to die. Right? So I'm going to show now what happens if I quit the game before hitting the kill box. The kill box, of course, being the trigger that kills me. Fairly straightforward, but in case people didn't know. So now we're going to hurl ourselves off the cliff yet again, but this time, there we go, I fiddled around a bit. You have to be really fast, and you can't make a mistake. If you do make a mistake, if you choke, then you're probably going to fall to your death. But as you can see, we quit the game fast enough, and it puts us at our last spot of stable footing. So that's really important in later areas, specifically Duke Skip is a big one, as well as the rafters in Inner Londo. But those are for other videos in the future. And that's pretty much it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess Valley of the Drakes is going to be up next. We'll see how I edit this. And we're back. This is going to be the second part. This is the Valley of the Drakes route. So this one can be a little bit interesting. So there's several times that you go down to the New Londo lift in a speedrun, and there's actually 3 different ways to get there, believe it or not. And the slowest of which is the natural route, which is walking down this staircase. Now, it's not overall that slow. It's actually fast enough. But there's 2 alternative ways to do it. So the biggest one is over here. When you're doing the BKH route and you want to grab these humanities, you grab them, and then this little ridge here, you can actually just, if you're sprinting, you can actually just get on it. So like that. And then you just drop off there, and if you look straight forward, that's the crack that we aim for. So you just kind of go this way and then go for the crack. And the fall damage is pretty irrelevant because you're going to be popping humanity in that lift anyway. So then the third way is the most famous for being incredibly difficult and only saving about 4 seconds if you get it first try. So this bench right here, slopes in Dark Souls have a very interesting property of shoving you very violently upward, and if you jump against a slope, I can actually show it off over here. You end up getting a mega jump. I think there should be a good enough slope here. Yeah, as you can see, I got a very, very high jump. So This ends up abusing that feature with this slope of this bench right here, and that crack in the wall. It's very difficult to pull off. We'll see. Yeah, I got a first try. Honestly, even though I can get a first try like 5 times in a row in a run, I can almost never be that consistent. So it's very inconsistent, but if you want to save time, then this is the way to do it. As you can see, that's twice. So you'll just land here and then go for the crack again. So now that we're past that, we're going to go into the New Londo lift. This lift is very helpful in the BKH route because right here you just walk to here and then you pop these humanities along the way. And doing things on elevators and ladders and fog walls, as I said before, is optimal because you're not going to lose any time from it because it's a set path. Now, one thing that we do in speedruns, which is very important, because we never come up this elevator, you want to step on the button and then leave. So it goes back up, so it's waiting for you. Now that we're in New Londo, if you're doing a route that needs this soul, that is an 800 soul right down there at the bottom left. If you don't, then there's about 3 ways that you can tackle this bit. This is very small optimization-wise, so be prepared to not have your mind blown at all. So if you want to take no fall damage at all, you just go here. You take nothing, and then you go on your merry way. That's the slowest way, but if you need to take no fall damage, then do that. If you need to take some fall damage for Red Tearstone Ring, you just run and drop, and then you have a little bit of damage. That's using the BKH route. And if you want to look fancy as well as be optimal, you do this jump. And it looks so cool. And that's technically optimal. It's like probably half a second faster than just sprinting off. So those are basically the 3 ways. Again, very small optimization. So now we're going to head to Valley of the Drakes. This gate can only open with Master Key or the New Londo Ruins Key that is found in Blighttown over that way. So this is a soul that you need in pretty much any route that goes this way. And over there's Blighttown, of course. You're going to come down here later anyway, so because you need to get to Quelaag, obviously. And you just kind of run on your merry way. I'm going to ask this actually because I will be showing how to get the Red Tearstone Ring as well. And hopefully that goes well because it can be somewhat RNG based. And when I say RNG, this is a term that you guys should probably get to know because I'll probably use it a lot. RNG is random number generator or random number generation, which means randomness basically in video games. And Dark Souls uses a, I guess, sophisticated random number generator to determine enemy and boss AI. So anything that an enemy does is somewhat random. They've worked it into an algorithm also including proximity. Anyway, if that guy does the horizontal attack, you can just sprint along the cliff face. If he does the forward attack, you can go to his right to be safe or roll along the cliff face if you are feeling dangerous. And then you go in this way, coax out an attack from this guy and just juke left. Won't hit you. Keep running, keep running, keep running. Hope this guy does forward. He did. Perfect. And then you climb, and assuming you do this as fast as possible, the Drakes will not be able to hit you with lightning unless, specifically that attack, at the base of the ladder, there is a very, very small chance that a little bit of lightning is going to catch you up on top. So as you can see, all of the Drakes are just gathering around the ladder. I'm going to grab the ring, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold left and roll. And then spam roll, keep holding left, and you should get out. Now, it's a little bit dangerous, but it's honestly, it's consistent enough. Maybe you might die like 1 in 12 runs, I'd say. And that's a really random number that I just pulled out of my ass, but yeah. Here's normally where you pop the souls. This elevator, you have about enough time to pop 3 items that take about that length. So 3 souls, 2 souls in humanity if you want, 2 souls in an Estus works fine as well. You're not going to rest at this bonfire, unfortunately, because that's slow, and nobody wants to be slow in a speedrun. Now here, this Black Knight, the fastest way to kill him is hope and get lucky, and then just get behind him and backstab. When you initially come out of this tunnel, he will attack you immediately. So that's just the fastest way to take care of him, obviously. And then here, of course, is the Grass Crest Shield, which is a favorite amongst speedrunners, as it does regenerate your stamina, which can help for running, as well as other things. And that's pretty much it for the Valley of the Drakes. As you can see, we are actually reaching the point right here. So there's Havel's Tower. It's really hard to see. And then here's the ramp that we go up in Basin. That's the 2 ways through the game to get to Undead Parish, to fight your first boss of Gargoyles. Hope you guys enjoyed, and leave a like if you enjoyed.